Hello, and welcome to the Cubicorn Games Podcast. My God, what a couple of months it's been, even a week it's been since kind of being back in it. And joining me to talk about events that have happened, events that will happen, and game dev stuff we're working on, Lorraine Morbido is here.
It's true, I'm here. Wow.
We have been absent for a little bit. We've been working on game stuff. Process continues. We just got back from PAX East. It's been a crazy, man, I feel like I haven't stopped. I don't know. I'm finally nearing the end of, there's a couple more, emails and stuff I want to send out, and I'm nearing the end of, follow-ups that I want or need to do. But we got home, and there was more stuff to do, man.
And I had a much more abrupt end to it than you did, because I had, the day after we got back off, because we got in at, 1:45 a.m., and I was like, you know what? No, I don't want to work today, so I took that day off as well, and then just went right back to work after that. So, I had a much cleaner break of, we're going hardcore PAX, then it's stop, okay, we're back to normal life. And I'm I guess I'm a little more in that than you are, to an extent.
Yeah, to some degree. And then kind of my esports coaching stuff is wrapping up. So that was a little bit I did go back in to school for that, but we're about done. School year's almost over. Got some kids who'll be moving on. We'll be coming back next semester, I hope. But that's all going on. And then, we got back from PAX, and I've just been, like I said, we had dev work talks on the way home, which we'll talk about a little more in a second, and just recovering from the show itself. But I would still say in terms of the on the show floor presence, it was the best event we've ever done.
Yeah.
Had a ton of people come and play. Got a little bits of earned media here and there. A couple little people recording clips, or had that sick ass Fun and Games podcast interview.
I saw that they had posted. I don't know if it was from their stuff or not, but they posted something else PAX related on Blue Sky.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Earlier today.
Yeah, I'm assuming unless that was only, I was a little unclear if that segment was only for Patreon or some
I have no idea.
Longer version of it was, but if they post it publicly, I'm sure they'll tag us again.
Oh yeah, they're going to be in communication with us.
Yeah, and I need to send those guys an email too. But that was a ton of fun.
Yeah, they were all great. They were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Every single day of the show, we saw them in some capacity.
Bunch of new cool people in the Discord.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for jumping in there. And then, like I said, I'll try to be a little more active in there, at least posting once or twice a week whenever I remember to. But it's going to be we're going to be hustling as the game continues to evolve. But PAX was good. Like I said, we got a couple of really long play sessions in there. I finally saw a tiny bit more Tower 5 stuff in the wild, which was good. And then people are still generally digging the stuff before then, which is great. We do have this build of the game that's up on Discord now is fairly representative of the baseline non-New Game Plus content, which is good.
Technically, there is a level in a unique level in every spot where there will be a level in the final game, and the same goes for the bosses.
Yeah, which is a big milestone, and there's a lot of stuff around that needs to get done. Lorraine's working on art now that's going to go in there, and I still have music on the back burner that needs to be done for a decent chunk of that back half of the game, and do some big level design stuff in Tower 5 that's going to change up a bit.
Yeah, if you're banging your head against the current build of Tower 5, don't worry about it.
We're gonna smooth off.
Dustin's finally listened to me
a lot of those references.
That 5 is a bit of a tricky spot.
Yeah, because among our conversations on the drive home when we were just talking about next steps and working on stuff and whatever, like I told you then, it wasn't a matter of your suggestions to tweak stuff or tone stuff down. I wasn't listening to them. It was just a matter of how far I wanted to go, because if it was just your feedback, I would have gone, and we haven't done this work yet, this is work we're going to do, but the amount that I would have changed would have been less than now having seen it in the public in the hands of people who aren't intimately familiar with the game. And again, some people did actually do much better than I expected with how how obtuse some of that stuff is, and how easy it is to
if you bang your head against it, you'll get it eventually.
Yeah, but that's the main thing, right? Is that a decent amount of it to this point is not people necessarily understanding what I'm trying to guide them to do. It is there are a lot more sections where it's trial and error, because this is the world where you're rotating the world back and forth, you're changing gravity and stuff like that, and it's a lot more instances of people just kind of throwing themselves at it and ultimately shaking something loose, which is, again, that's more on me than them. So we'll get there.
Basically the feedback I've been giving this entire time.
But yeah, we've got plans. We're gonna definitely pull back some stuff straight up to like more of the New Game Plus stuff, and then we're gonna refactor the mechanics in there in general a little bit to make things more linear than they are now to some degree, and to kind of correspond more with like the visual and audio like language patterns we've kind of set up and the stuff that comes before this. I think it's all gonna work out pretty well. And like I had told you also on that drive, or at least at some other point, I think I was just way. I mean, first of all, like that was one of the earlier versions of a thing we've still had in the game, which is fine because that stuff's been tested less, just in general. So I over-engineered it in terms of like total number of fiddly little mechanics, and in terms of like, well, I was like, well, it has to keep building, right? And I don't want it to feel too easy or too simple or whatever. And I just way overshot that goal. I vastly underestimated how complex it feels to just have the world spin. Even if like the platforming that comes before or after it is not like ultra super mega complicated compared to the stuff that's come before. I just think I just had that like math wrong in terms of like how much needed to happen to kind of keep people engaged. And so like I said, we'll dip our toes, like we'll pull back in that direction a little bit for the post game stuff that ultimately ends up in that world. But the mainline path is definitely going to be smoothed out quite a bit.
Not necessarily like easier, but just more straightforward.
Yeah, more obvious
and more actionable on the player's part. It's going to be less of like, oh, I need to like turn everything a certain way, and then the path just opens up. It's going to be more of like you're going to be doing stuff and then turning the world and then seeing, oh, I can do more of that. I need to go this way to go touch this thing and keep moving.
Because I think I even mentioned it in one of those little sections of that interview on the show floor with the Fun and Games guys, was that I never introduced the game as a puzzle platformer, but it does have moderate puzzle elements in it for sure. And that world, up to this point, like the state that's in now, is by far the most puzzly part of the game. And so I do think that either rebranding the game more as like an explicit puzzle game, if it stayed that way, was probably required, or pulling it back a little bit. I think we're going to more do the latter of just like simplifying it just a hair from where it's at right now. But it should be good. I'm looking forward to doing that work. Like I said, we've made some cool strides. You've given me a handful of new, like slightly tweaked art assets that'll be needed for those changes. So I got to get all that stuff done. And then we're prepping. You're working on final assets for that boss fight that goes in that world, which will be good because we got to build a trailer for Furry Weekend Atlanta. Is our next event coming up, and they're gonna do a little trailer expo thing. They're gonna show footage on like a stage on stream of a couple of games that are gonna be there. Which again, we're super excited to be there. We got invited to do that, and I have a feeling it's going to be another really fun event, not unlike MagFest, where like any of the stuff that's like nonprofit, where it's like people who just like really give a shit about a community.
Just fucking love of the game, man.
Because
it's like just a tick more niche, like because MagFest is definitely more of that way than something like PAX, which is very commercial,
right,
and slightly more into like the more dedicated aspect of it than something like GDEX, which is still a for-profit thing. Like these are just community gatherings, and that vibe is so different.
Yeah,
so I'm hoping, like you said, kind of like MagFest, like if it can be anywhere near that level of like chill but energy, like I think it's going to be a really, really fun weekend.
All the communications I've had with those folks have led me to believe that it seems like the instinct is to like, not necessarily we have to maximize attendance, we have to maximize revenue per attendee, we have to maximize this or that. It's like, can we put on a thing that people will have fun attending?
And the fact that they reached out, like it wasn't like something else that we like just kind of scrounged up on our own. Like we had a connection through a Steam event, I think, right, that we were part of.
Yeah,
because
we were at Anthrofest last year, and I forget how they found us originally through there. It might, like I said, it might go all the way back to I think it might have been somebody from SGDQ that we had talked to.
I was saying, I knew there was some that was GDQ
more embedded in the furry community, and they were like, "Hey, this game's got an Anthro character in it.
It's true.
Maybe you'd be interested in featuring it in some way or whatever." So.
I've never been to a furry convention, and
I'm sure it'll be
looking forward to that. I want to see new things. I've been to anime conventions, been to gaming conventions. I've been to all other kinds of tiers of more businessy to more just fan gathering, collector type things. This will just be another thing to check off the list of just something I've gone and experienced. So that is going to be really fun.
Yeah, as someone very much from the outside looking in on the furry community, like I said, it's been, and also as someone who is old enough that I date back to the oldest parts of the internet, like the 90s era internet.
Yikes.
where it's like I remember the era when non-furries realized that furries existed.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like the very much like point and laugh at these weird people online. And now we've like shot all the way back around to like, oh, every single thing on the internet for the most part has gotten so much worse.
Oh, yeah.
But like these folks in general, by and large, seem to have maintained like a level of support and positivity, like within like a little subculture.
Yeah. There's
that,
always
like,
going to be weirdos.
Yeah, there's always going to be weirdos. Everybody, like, gaming's like that in general.
Yeah.
Like, there's always
every community.
There's always people
like,
that you don't want to associate less with or that kind of suck or whatever. But on average,
yeah.
I would say that, like, again, from not necessarily being in that scene,
True.
it seems like there's a decent amount of like kind of support and acceptance and positivity there, and that's good. That's really good in this modern shitty age of online engagement. So it'll be cool. It'll be really sick. And again, PAX just got me stoked to do stuff. I do like going to physical events. I think it's a ton of fun.
You're crazy.
We had such a good time. I had such a good time, even though, like I said, my voice was totally fucked up.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done this a day or two after we got back because I was fucked up. I could not speak well. Right after we got home from PAX, I was screaming over that PAX Arena stage the last 4 days or whatever, and I had it vocally. But yeah, it was really good. So yeah, I guess thank you to everybody again who played the game. Thank you to all the repeat customers we got.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of people from last year who came again. We got a bunch of people this year who came multiple times and hung out. And then obviously we got a bunch of people who played longer play sessions, or even if you just played for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And you said that you thought it was neat. We appreciate it.
Yep.
And yeah, that's going to be our plan for now, is to grind out at least some updates for Furry Weekend Atlanta. I might put out another build then. I might wait about a month. I know we haven't actually talked about this again since PAX.
Yikes.
But like I think the plan for right now is going to be we'll put out more builds on Discord until we don't.
Yeah.
So I don't have a definitive stopping point in mind yet, but there probably will come a time where like, the last truly public build goes out, but that is not yet, I'll say. So keep listening to this. Keep, checking out the Discord for more updates on that front. But for the moment, expect at least another like couple of months, another update or two of like a new versions of the game going live there for pretty much anybody to screw around with if they want to. Because at minimum, I do want to get like the mainline path. Like I want to have more robust versions of the Tower 6 levels in there, and like versions of the soon to be updated Tower 5 levels that will be closer to what they ship as, and all that stuff. I want to get in there for sure. But yeah, be on the lookout for that stuff. Definitely go to the Super Cucumber Steam page. Yeah. Please wishlist the game, and then while you're there's a Discord link near the bottom of that page. Click on it and jump in and play the build. Let us know your thoughts. Ask us questions, all that shit. And yeah, I think that's it for at least the near-term stuff. Like I said, we'll have more concrete details on game dev stuff coming in the weeks and months to come. But for now, it's just like more spit and polish, more level design changes, more final art assets. We'll continue to spin all the plates all at once.
Hooray! It's worked so far.
Yeah. And we're also kind of recording this last minute because we have had a ton of stuff going on. So I had intended to talk more about video game things, like what we've been playing. We're going to put out
mainly Slay the Spire 2.
Mainly Slay the Spire 2, but I also will have played another couple of people's indie games.
Oh my god!
That we met at PAX. By the time we record our next show,
Bro's playing
so
games.
I'll have some impressions on other indie stuff then. But
I've really just been playing Slay the Spire 2.
Yeah, but I think we both are enjoying it. You've played it much more than I have.
Yes.
So I think we'll leave that at that for now. We'll come back in another couple of weeks with a bunch of Slay the Spire 2 impressions, but it's pretty good. If you like the first one, I bet you'll like this.
It's like that, but more.
It's like that, but more. So yeah, look out for much more, probably much higher proportion of like us talking about playing games to like Cucumber updates. Because at that point, it'll be like, oh, we're working on stuff.
Yeah. Still here.
Still here. So yeah, look forward to that in about 2 weeks from when you're listening to this. And then the only last thing I think we will touch on a tiny bit is that we did go see the Super Mario Galaxy movie. That's what it's called?
That's what it's called.
The second Mario movie this afternoon.
True.
And honestly, I thought it was fun for what it was.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I'm a little. I feel like it's like Rotten Tomato score was in like the 30s or something.
That's the critic score.
Yeah,
the audience score is in like the 90s.
Sure.
Like the people love it. The critics don't.
I'm just saying. I have to go look and see what like the lowest scoring Minions movies is. To like relative to this, because I feel like I haven't seen all those individual Minions movies.
No,
I feel like this has got to be at least slightly better than those. I guess if you truly have no attachment to either Mario stuff or the Minions, maybe they're about the same because they're both kind of like swirling vortexes of color and sound. But
yeah, at least you can understand the main characters in the Mario movie, and they're not just saying banana or whatever the Minions say.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was cute for what it was. Spoilers if anyone if anyone wants to
I mean,
avoid being
stuff,
spoiled by the Mario movie.
The bigger stuff, like that fucking my boy Fox McCloud is in there.
Yeah, right. That eventually
more
got
than like
leaked.
a 2-second thing. Like he's an integral part of like the back half of the movie.
Yeah, like I was a little surprised by that, which I guess whatever makes sense that if he's going to be in there. Well, and that it was I actually was kind of relieved that they didn't quite, at least yet, devolve into like Smash Brothers the movie. Like every Nintendo character you've ever seen is here. Like they
because the other big one that got a pronounced chunk of screen time was that Pikmin cameo.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you caught it when I told you, but Samus's ship left the port.
Yeah, I did catch you.
Okay.
I would have never noticed that myself.
I saw it for it's like in a panning shot in the background, and you have to just like know what that ship looks like,
right?
And because I was looking for literally anything. I'm just like this is gonna be there's going to be stuff here because I had seen something recently that Miyamoto had said that he's going to be putting Pikmin in literally everything that he physically can. So I was like, is there going to be a Pikmin reference? Because I hadn't seen that's probably something that nobody cares about, which isn't except for my one coworker. I didn't tell her about the Pikmin cameo because I wanted to. I told her after we left the movie, I'm like, it's really cute. It's kind of a mess, but you should see it. So when she sees that Pikmin cameo, I'm sure she'll lose her mind.
Yeah, right. If you like the first one, you'll probably like this. It's not.
I think
I'd say it's like 10% less logical. Like it's because the Mario Luigi. Like their little kind of arc of the first one is pretty thin.
Yeah.
But I would say it's ever so slightly thicker than say like the little arc that they gave Peach or like the little arc that they like sort of tried to give Bowser and then they just kind of stopped.
Yeah, it was weird. I think I guess the character work is technically like the character like development or whatever is probably like significantly worse in this one because like all the new characters are barely there. Like Yoshi's the only one that's kind of around and he doesn't really he's not having emotional depth with people. My boy. Rosalina's there. She's in the movie technically. And then Bowser Jr. Isn't really anything. Like the new characters are basically nothing. But I did kind of like how it then didn't linger too much on the old ones either. They're just it kind of honestly felt like a Mario game where it's like, oh, the character depth isn't really the thing we're focusing on. We're just focusing on the adventure. And there were different groups kind of at certain spots. It's shifting around a lot, so it's maybe a little frenetic in a way that it probably doesn't need to be. But the A to B to C, I thought it worked pretty well. It was just a fun movie. The stakes weren't the stakes were maybe higher than last time because they were gonna
Well, yeah, let's.
Well, you said spoilers.
Yeah, no, let's get into that because that's the thing I wanted to mention.
Erase Rosalina.
Well,
she was gonna get her entire being was gonna get used up to fuel a cannon that was going to destroy the universe.
Yeah, right. Because that's where I was like,
she was getting literally turned into ash in a center of an engine, basically.
Yeah, they had me and they lost me because that was twofold, right? On the one hand, I love the all the way back to Mario RPG era, right? I really love the Bowser and Mario begrudging companions dynamic that they did for a tiny bit in this. That I'm that's fun when they do that.
It bummed me out that I was kind of hoping for Bowser's change to be more real, and he stays his son's hand basically, and they're just kind of oh, okay. I wanted him to be a little more freaked out once they met up on the ship or whatever, and it was just kind of oh, you built all that was a bedtime story. I didn't mean for you to kidnap her and turn her into nothing.
Yeah. And then that little the kind of confrontation where I guess he doesn't really do anything else with Bowser Jr. He just kind of lets him aggress against Mario and Luigi leads into definitely the most brother, if you're not down with seeing things from these video games and nothing else, this is the point where you're gonna be looking at your watch, because by the time we get to we have babies on the planet with the T-Rex from Mario Odyssey, I'm yeah, okay, I get it. If there is a point where this movie is going to skew into the 20s for you, it's going to be right here, because this is a whole bunch of nonsense that only exists to tip its hat to things that that you can point at and say that's from the video game that I recognize.
Because I don't remember. I know there was a little bit of like Odyssey, kind of like the New York, a little bit more like New Donk City, but like actually New York in the first one. But this one was almost like 50-50 Galaxy franchise and Odyssey as a game, because they go to the one desert kingdom, literally just there
Right.
from Odyssey in the one
Those
like
little guys from the little town or whatever.
Yeah, like the desert. I don't remember
Yeah.
what the land is called, but it
Right.
doesn't fucking matter. In the like Gateway Galaxy place, half of the people there are like Galaxy specific or Odyssey specific characters, like guys you can like get with Cappy or whatever, like capture and all that stuff. And then Pinatas, just the Sunshine reference all of a sudden, just there they are. I'm a Chuckster. They're not there for like, nobody really interacts with them except for like, I think Toad bumps into one. And then shout out to the big Super Mario USA 2 reference. Although, and I will say that I did forget Fry Guy. He also was not represented.
So they're missing two of
So
the...
Triclyde, the three-headed snake, and Fry Guy, the living fire that maybe has sunglasses on, were not present with fucking Mouser and Wart. He's just Wart. He's not Wart Jr. His name is just Wart.
I don't remember.
Wart Jr. is an Animal
You know
Crossing
these characters better than me. I don't remember
And
the
then
names.
Birdo's
I
there.
don't remember the names of non-Birdo characters from Super Mario Brothers 2. So.
Don't remember Mouser?
I mean, I remember that there's a mouse who throws bombs, but...
His name is Mouser. Okay. The fact that she threw a turnip at him is perfect, because you do kill him by throwing vegetables at him from his organ that just makes vegetables for some reason. Shout out to Mario 2.
It's a good game.
It's a crazy game. Those ninja guys, they're from that game. That's where they originated from.
Pick them up, throw them.
I don't know why there was a weird seedy casino underneath the airplane
whatever.
district. That was weird. Going through the wall.
Ironically enough, it was basically built to be platformed around, but I don't think is a one-to-one direct perfect. I don't think there is a multi-sided casino world in a Mario game. So it was
because I was trying to think of the only casino I can think of in Mario that is like a platforming thing is in Sunshine, that one King Boo fight that's on a roulette wheel. I mean, maybe, because I didn't really play Galaxy 2. I played Galaxy 1, and I know there wasn't, a casino thing there. But all that I've seen of Galaxy 2, I don't recall there being a casino thing. So that is just completely, whole cloth that into existence.
Yeah.
Which was wild.
But I was gonna say the last thing, like you said, I think they could have pulled out some of the reference stuff and done a better job making this into a proper movie. I actually do like the turning Rosalina and Peach into familial, their sisters in this. I'm sure, that's fine, because in the video games the only reason there are more princesses is because Mario games have princesses in them.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna find a better way to put more princess characters in these games than to say they have an actual reason to be here.
There's just monarchies everywhere, and these ladies, are just here. And you know what? That's fine.
Yeah, so that was
because this
cool.
Peach clearly has a bespoke origin story. She's not normal Princess Peach or Toadstool or whatever you want to call her. She's just there. Mario is maybe canonically from New York. I don't remember where that came from.
Oh,
if it was the game
that was in a manual or something.
I don't know. Yeah. But Peach has never had an origin story outside of the Mushroom Kingdom, because there are other people there. There's those kings in Mario 3.
Sure.
There are humanoid characters that aren't Toads.
Ironically, the origin story she kind of has now in this movie, she's kind of like Superman. She's like a superior being that has kind of been raised by this culture and now protects them or whatever.
She's more like fucking Ego almost, from Guardians. She's a being made from the stars or whatever. She's not real, which is weirder. I didn't like the very hyper realistic skin texture that they showed on all of those hand close-ups. They looked a little too close to photoreal, or trying to lean more into that, the pores, and I didn't like it. It looked creepy because they whenever those two girls were reaching their hands out, they're we are zooming in with a microscope. We are looking at their cuticles. It was a little too far. Rendering has gone too far.
But then, like you said, the inclusion of Star Fox, the Star Fox stuff in there. I was like, sure. If you're going to do that, that makes enough sense. They're like, we've introduced the concept of space, and people got to get from A to B in space, and Star Fox is here to help us get to a different spot in space.
I love that for him. And also, he was like, I'm not from here.
Yeah.
So it's not like
right.
the
So it's not like,
system isn't just there. He's like,
right, exactly. They at least...
There are canonical wormholes in Star Fox that send you into different dimensions.
Yeah, we're not saying that like always, and again, that Samus one I would say doesn't count. That's more of an Easter egg than like like it's a thing they put in the background. Nobody said like, look, there's Samus's ship.
There she is.
But when they introduced Fox, like you said, they made it clear that like, no, he doesn't just exist in the same world
He's
always.
Not from here.
That Mario exists in.
And then he left.
He
leaves.
How did you feel about that? I know you're like basically the biggest Star. You're definitely the biggest Star Fox fan I know. You're probably one of the biggest Star Fox fans around.
Maybe.
How did you feel about like all his outfit and like the R-wing, like that interpretation of it with like the weird like kind of like sidecars?
It was weird. But also like I thought it was interesting that like he just like had the cockpit open because clearly space in this universe or dimension or whatever is just different because it just launched him up there like without helmets or anything. Like nobody cares. It was strange because it looks he's definitely not fully based on any one game. He looks probably closest to like somewhere between Command and Zero, or at least his like Smash Brothers representation, because he was a little different.
Sure.
Like, I mean, obviously
again, the Smash Brothers
everyone is a little off in these movies. Like, I got used to Yoshi eventually, and Fox was a little closer to, I guess he doesn't have as like strict of a like, because he's changed over so many games.
The Smash Brothers version of those models probably the closest that he would have been like proportionally to in this movie, because like in those games obviously he's like punch and kick and jump and shit, and in the other games he needs to just like sit in a cockpit. So
not an assault.
Well, yeah.
Not an adventure. You get out of that shit, boy.
But,
no, I thought he looked good. Like, I think he was like just cocky enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought
he's supposed to be like a little like the fact that he is like interested in getting paid. Like, he's a mercenary. Like, I saw somebody else point out like at the end of Star Fox 64, your score screen is literally
it's like an
bill.
Invoice or whatever.
Like,
yeah, right. He's
just like, here, this is what we did.
Charging the Galactic Federation or whatever. Yeah.
The Cornerian Army, Dustin. He's sending that to General Pepper.
But no, I agree. Like, because I have less. You had two characters that you have a very deep emotional attachment to in this movie. You had Yoshi and you had Fox, and I think that they didn't they didn't betray them either in the ways that you were worried about. Of like, oh, they're gonna drastically mischaracterize these characters, and I feel like they didn't do either of those.
It wasn't less like that. I think they'd
mischaracterize
mischaracterize them. I just feel like they would just not do them right. Yoshi doesn't speak.
She ate things and pooped out eggs, but didn't make like a fart noise. So I was like, well, thank God for that. one bullet was dodged.
I loved his intro sequence where they're like, hey, like, how'd you get in here? And he's clearly telling them like he's like sentient enough to know things and be able to tell stuff, but they can't understand him. So like there's this whole sequence of him just like literally walking through New York and then getting chased by the cops, and that's how he ends up in the pipe. And then like Luigi's like, guess we'll never know. It was really funny. Yoshi was just kind of like, huh? And then he didn't care.
Yeah, and that little moment, again, they were like sort of fewer and far between, but the little moment in when they first encounter Bowser Jr. and Mario and Luigi and kind of fight him on the little balcony of the castle or whatever, and Luigi like knees him in the face or whatever, and then like is like rubbing it off because he's a little injured. I was like, yeah, that that's perfect Luigi. That's what Luigi should be doing.
I love Charlie Day's Luigi. Like, he's so good. He was so fun in this movie. Like, I liked that he wasn't alone like he was in the first movie. Like, him getting to play off of like he and Yoshi became buds like almost instantly, and they're both like teasing Mario constantly, and so that was really fun. He had just some good, like, it was actually kind of nice being a baby. He's like, all the like horrors like disappear.
Yeah, it was, the Rob reference was like close to perfect. It was still maybe a tiny bit long, but still
the fact
funny.
That they did it twice.
Yeah,
was
right.
They could have.
I feel like if they had cut the first one a little shorter, they could have gotten away with doing it twice. But either way,
I guess they technically did it 3 times because it was like they did it twice made the joke twice the first time, and then made it a third time separately.
If there were like 3 minutes of that on screen, if they had cut that down to like 2 to 2.5, I'd be like, okay.
I'm guessing it was probably almost perfectly timed with how he actually moved.
Sure.
Which I thought was funny. I do think he was Famicom Rob. not
Not the
NES
US
ROM.
one?
Because he had red. He
Okay.
wasn't like grayscale.
Sure.
That's the difference. He matches the Famicom colors.
Right. Yeah.
It was cute.
I think those are most of my like stray thoughts. I'm trying to think if there was anything else in particular. A lot of little power-ups like
So
that you
many.
wouldn't have necessarily. Like Luigi was using like a cloud suit. I'm not even sure how I remember which game
I
that's
think
from.
that's from Galaxy
Okay.
2. I'm pretty sure. I don't know about the drill.
The drill head thing, I think, was one of the new Super Mario Brothers games. Maybe.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I was pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the cloud is Mario or Galaxy 2.
Okay. I have only played that game once, and it was a very long time ago.
Because
so.
yeah, the ice. Well, the ice might be from like the ice flower. That might be a new Super Mario Bros.
I think it is.
One. I don't remember which of those. Like same with like the penguin suit that Toad uses at some point.
Mm-hmm.
They did give Yoshi a Galaxy 2 power up specifically. I was like, are they giving him a fire flower? What are they doing with Yoshi? And instead he just gets one of his like just random. I don't know what.
Sure,
I
whatever.
couldn't tell you what that was. He just got filled with air.
Yeah. But it was
Google Mario inflation to find more out.
But I like I said, if you I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There have been many movies that I have liked less. For
I think
sure.
like because it is like at its core it's just a kids movie. Like that's what it's supposed to be, or like an all ages movie.
Yeah, and
Or whatever
again,
it
I
is.
would
like it doesn't have to like tackle like it does kind of tackle some like harder themes of like I like that the Mario like him and hawing with Peach wasn't like it was kind of a thing, but it wasn't like super dwelt on like in a like obsessive way. Like I felt like it came to like a natural sort of thing. Like they both kind of were like, oh okay, like they had an awkward moment and then like figured it out afterwards. Like there's stuff about family, there's stuff about like working together.
Yeah, it's the like, we saw Hoppers before this, like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, Hoppers was really good.
Hoppers is definitely a better movie than this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think it is like that sometimes stuff like this pops up where it is much looser and much more of just a popcorn spectacle. Like I will personally take this over like the next Star Wars or Marvel thing
100%.
in terms of those type of movies where
Yeah.
like there isn't a ton going on in them, with the exception of like a bunch of stuff that you're familiar with loosely framed around like a very light narrative.
And it makes me think about Super Nintendo Land or World or whatever.
Yeah. And I do think it looks good. Like I think it's
Yeah.
still really well animated. I think that like for
It's
all
very
the like
colorful. It's a very colorful movie.
Yeah, I don't think it looks bad. I think the characters look good in motion. I think the environments look pretty well rendered. Like I think the Illumination guys have been able to do a good job with these pretty like visually busy universes, like these visually busy things, to like put them at least on screen in a way that is perceivable. If not, like again, I can also see like getting exhausted by it. That's fair, but like it
is very like visual because it does like jump around between like locations pretty quickly, and they have a lot of different moods, so it can be a little like it's a lot to take in.
Yeah, but as a fan of video games and
Yeah.
Mario and those characters, like I said, it is not in like the top tier of feature animation necessarily, but I did enjoy it.
What happened to the castle?
And
it died.
And if you go see this, go see Hoppers too.
Yeah.
Hoppers was actually really, really good.
Hoppers is a very, very good movie.
I hope that movie has done. I haven't checked in on its like
I haven't
more
either.
recent box office stuff. And actually, I'm curious. That trailer for that other thing might be okay. That other DreamWorks movie.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. I don't remember what it's called.
At least they're making like unique movies, like
Yeah.
not sequels. Like they're doing stuff.
Yeah. But right, that like because that's from the
Secret Island.
That might have been what it was called. Yeah, right, because it's like Land of the Lost with like 80s kids or whatever, basically. But it's made by the guy who made that Puss in Boots movie, and that movie fucks, man.
I mean,
That
this
Puss in-
movie looks great.
That Puss in
like,
Boots Last Wish movies is absolutely.
It's
off
got a
the
very
chain.
similar like it's not as like at least I mean we didn't see a huge amount of it, but does it look like it's got that like kind of like stop motiony sort of
So
animation to
I
it?
noticed that I was watching that trailer really closely. The first half to 2/3 of it, there's basically none of that in there. If you really pay attention to the last little chunk, there
Okay.
was a lot of that in there.
But like I was gonna because like the general kind of like painting-esque like
Yeah,
storybook aesthetic from Last Wish is in there too.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. Like the style of that Puss in Boots The Last Wish movie is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the fact that they are willing to continue using it and like use it on something else is very cool.
Yeah, so between like that thing and this and Hoppers and like I said, I liked K-pop Demon Hunters. I'll probably
Yeah.
watch that movie again. I enjoyed it thoroughly when we saw that on Netflix that one time. I think the feature animation is in an okay place,
I
which
hope
makes me
so.
pretty happy. And I
hope
do
it
hope
is.
things like Hoppers are successful enough that like we can keep getting like at least a like 1-to-1 or at worst a like 1-to-2 ratio of like original projects to like more sequels.
I hope so.
But we'll see. But
I
yeah.
mean, there's a very good chance that there's going to be a third Mario movie.
Oh, I would just. Are you kidding? They'll make them as long as they make money.
Yeah.
So I don't think this
knowing
one.
Illumination.
I'm assuming
like,
this one is also going to make like $1 billion.
Probably. I think it opened pretty strong.
Yeah, they'll make them long after the point where they should have stopped making them. Like they'll trust me. As long as there's any like gas left in the tank, they will. We will see more of this stuff.
Spoiler alert for the second of the 2 credit stingers. Daisy shows up. She doesn't say anything, but she shows up.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the second I saw her glove. I'm like, that's Daisy.
Right.
She wears short gloves.
So yeah, I think that's. Do you have any other lingering thoughts? Are we gonna wrap it up with a two thumbs up for both Hoppers and the Mario Brothers movie?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. Like, you'll see people like it's not. I mean, the first movie's kind of a mess too. The worst
Again,
part is still Chris Pratt's acting.
Yeah, just
he is the weakest character,
and I still think he's
by
like
far.
fine. I think it's okay, but
the other characters just do so much more work.
Just know what you're getting into. If you are down for another like roughly 2 hours of colorful, stylish Mario Brothers action,
Yeah.
you'll enjoy it. And if you want something that is more like that has more going on, that is more has more heart, but is still like funny and pretty and all that, go see Hoppers. Go see both.
Yeah.
But yeah, just know that one of these supplies one thing and the other is supplying the other.
True.
But, yeah, would recommend. And with all that said, yeah, I think we will. I need to get this edited. We need to post it tomorrow, so we will wrap it up and call it for the moment. But thank you again to everybody who came out to PAX and hung out. We really appreciate it. Like I said before, please, if you're interested in following our game dev stuff or helping us out, go to the Super Cucumber page on Steam and wishlist that. Go to the bottom of that page and join our Discord. You can ask us stuff in there. I'll yap about it on the podcast. I'll respond to you in that server. You can try out the new build we've got going on. You can follow this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and other places where podcasts are found.
So many places.
You can follow us at Blue Sky. That's technically a thing we do. Lorraine does post Instagram stuff sometimes, all at Cubicorn Games, or cubicorngames.com, I guess, in the case of Blue Sky. And yeah, we're gonna call it a show, but we will definitely have another show before we ship out to Furry Week Atlanta that is talking about the games we've played recently. So until then, stay tuned. A couple weeks from now, stay safe out there, and we will be back with more podcasts.
Bye.